So let's talk about deleting data. ISO 27000 2022 standard has a new control about deleting data when it's no longer needed. And that sounds like pretty simple control, except it's very hard to delete the data when it's not needed if you don't know where all your data is. So now we're basically talking about data lifecycle management. When you bring the data in, do you know where it is? Do you know where it's going? Do you know where it's stored? And do you know when it's time to delete it? And also in there, do you know who has access to it? So data, that is the lifeblood of today's businesses. It's an asset. It's an asset that has to be protected. And part of that protection process means that when I don't need the data anymore, I don't keep it in my ecosystem. Because imagine if every company that you've ever given some very important data to that included like social security number and bank accounts and your children's information, say you did business with them 10, 15 years ago, and they still got that data sitting on their servers and in their SharePoint and in databases, and you haven't been a customer for years. But then there's a breach, and data that they weren't even using has now been compromised. That is a problem. That is a big problem. And it's not only our customers' data and our business data, it's our employees' data. We have to become really aware of how we manage and how we protect data. And because of that, ISO has established new controls for even how we classify it and how we treat it throughout the life cycle. NIST 2 is coming up. It's coming into scope October 18th. It's got whole criteria that requires us to have data classification in the space so that we know how do we classify the data, how do we handle it, and how do we dispose of it. Having a data inventory becomes really important. It's not enough to know that you have 20-something systems. You need to know what kind of data is in those systems. It's not enough to say you have confidential data in SharePoint. You need to know exactly what kind of data, where that data is, where it's sitting, and how it's classified and how it's going to be removed when it's no longer needed. So we've got to get really good at managing data, because it's absolutely impossible to delete data that you don't even know exists. Data lifecycle management.